Oh, fuck! I forgot to press the button. Now we're live.
Oh,
Holy
yeah,
shit!
yeah. Thanks. Good job.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, I tell you
I
what.
thought we were going, and then 2 minutes goes by, and
Hey,
I'm
you
like, "Yo, we're not
I
live
need to
yet."
make Donnie an intro, evidently, because this just, hey, we're going to go live. Blink, here we are. I'm not used to that. It's weird.
Yeah. And then Sinfully was like, "Texas going on Brent's show in 30 minutes." I was like, "What? He's right here. Why?
I
Where's he
am. I
going?
am. Hey,
Where's he
Simply.
going?"
Hey, Simply.
So everyone, behold, please gawk at Texas' awesome shirt. He's got a Bigfoot Hawaiian shirt tonight. It suits him so well. And I believe Randy is jealous.
Yes.
yeah, that's it. You see, I'm wearing the one that he gave me
Hey
in
there, Mr.
Alabama
G.
2 years ago or whatever it was.
You know what, Randy? You remind me of PD or PI on Lonesome Dove. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
People
he's
have told me
never
that
been
before.
known to give up on a guard. No, it wasn't him. It was Danny Glover's character.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head.
He's been known. He's never been
Ethan
known to give up
Grill.
on a garment just because it's got a little wear on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have to start the show by pointing out that Tex does you know Hawaiian shirts suits you. They suit you well, man. Hawaiian
Thanks.
shirts suit you well.
It's my revolt against all this cold weather we're having, is what it is.
Is it?
I-
How bad is that weather right now?
I'm protesting.
It ain't bad now. It's all melted away.
Yeah, we're gonna get it again next week.
Are we now?
Yep,
Yeah.
more snow and stuff
I-
next weekend.
I ain't
Fuck
holding my
Elf, I
breath.
haven't seen you around in a while. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, he only comes to my show. He doesn't come to other people's show. And you know why that is? Because Puck Elf has good taste. He's a man of refined taste.
I'm not getting involved.
He's been around for quite a while. Hey,
Anyway,
Amy.
so
Denise,
yeah,
how
Texas
y'all
is not bad right
doing?
now. The cold weather's kind of gone. We're supposed to get more
Yeah.
snow here in Maryland. Man, I'm getting tired of this cold weather.
When are you moving to Texas?
Should I move to Texas? Is Texas ready? Am I ready for Texas? Is Texas
No.
ready for me?
I see. I think that's the question.
Hmm,
Is Texas ready for the show?
yeah.
The question is, does Texas really care if the show comes?
Well, so because Donnie is the chosen one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
The chosen one, baby. Okay.
Chosen.
Speaking of chosen ones, that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. So I've brought you gentlemen aboard because today we're gonna talk about people are like, oh, these guys are gonna talk about wrestling again. And yeah, we're gonna sort of, not really, because it's not so much about wrestling today. Today we're gonna talk about Hulk Hogan. And the reason why we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan is because I wanted to talk about someone who was for a long time an icon in American pop culture, who was considered almost like a godlike figure, right? I was a child of the 80s. I was born in 1980. So growing up as a little kid, that's when Hulkamania was in its prime, right? In the back then it was known as the WWF, right? That's when Hulkamania was at its peak, right? All the kids freaking worshipped his ass. I mean, you guys are a little older than I am, so you guys were like, young men. So I guess you weren't as enamored by the 80s WWF Hogan Ultimate Warrior stuff. I was all about that as a kid because I was like, what, 7, 8, 9 years old?
Well,
Collecting the toys.
Not necessarily. I see. I liked Hogan in those days because I liked the message, right?
Yeah.
And he was the good guy, and
The
everything.
good guy.
And,
The ultimate good guy.
yeah.
He played guitar.
And patriotic American.
Patriotic.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a Hogan fan, man. I really was.
Say your prayers.
A lot of people were, I think, though. I mean, honestly, and like we talked about, I was already a fan just from the stuff before, from before he was Hulkamania. I was a fan of his work before that, but he hit a different level. And by hitting the level he hit, he set the stage for what you're dealing with wrestling now, period. You know what I mean? So he's got his place in history. He really does. And anybody that doesn't believe that, you look at WrestleMania 18 with him and The Rock in Toronto.
Well, even beyond wrestling fandom, even like everyone who is a non-wrestling fan, which basically everyone else, they still know who Hogan is.
Oh yeah, they know who he is. He's a household name, period.
Yeah.
Antarctica. All right. Are you watching the 24-hour sun?
So
I would never take jab at flat earthers.
That's the idea of Hogan, right? Back in the 80s, especially when I was okay. So even if you're not a kid, you can still appreciate the kind of guy he represented. As a kid who was like 7 years old, man, you ate that shit up with a fucking spoon.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I had all the action figures and shit, man. I mean, I was obsessed.
Yeah.
Well, see, but that was part, and to me, that was really the whole draw of him, because he was at that point, he was such a good influence on younger kids.
Yeah.
Because he had that message, say your prayers, take your vitamins, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I'm like, man, and all this crap that we hear, all this, stuff that's being put out, it's something positive. And I'm like, it's good. See,
that's what we're dealing with now. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
In 2019, Hogan almost ran over my dad in his limo golf cart. I got to pick lol.
Oh, that's awesome.
Simply was a huge Stone Cold fan.
But yeah, it's that whole drama. And see, I felt the same thing about when John Cena first came out. I was like, oh God,
another Hogan.
I couldn't stand him. I mean, when he first came out and he was the whole, but when he got to the whole respect and this and that, and it was a remake of Hogan, is what it was.
Yeah,
it was.
And I liked it, but that ran for, well, he hasn't really changed. He hasn't went dark. He went right.
I'm gonna tell you what, Red Edge right there. That man right there has got some serious class. Kabuki, he just wrestled his last match last year at the age of 75.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. 75. Yeah. God damn.
That dude was still going. He finally said, "Hey, I got to stop. My knees ain't doing it no more."
I always enjoyed watching, of course, you watch Saturday Night Wrestle with the Von Erichs and everything.
Yeah.
And Kabuki was there. Yeah.
Green Mist, the Green Mist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like people like the Von Erichs, they were white meat baby faces. But beyond that, like Hogan as a white meat baby face, he was
the epitome.
He was the personification of American idealism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, cut to this past Monday. Okay. Let me walk you through Monday. Okay. This past Monday, Randy texts me, right? You had a show going on. I was actually watching your show on my phone at the same time. Randy texts me and he's like, "Hey man, you watching Netflix right now?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, Monday Night Raw's premiering on Netflix." Right. So I drop what I'm doing. I turn on some Netflix. And quick recap. It's not the Raw review show or anything. But overall, it was a solid show.
It was a great show, really.
There were a lot of surprises. Undertaker made an appearance. John Cena, The Rock, everyone came out. They had some solid matches. I thought the Seth Rollins CM Punk match was a banger. That was solid.
Yes, it was. That was an outstanding match. It really was. Hi, Minky.
But then here's the thing, and Tex, you didn't see it, but Randy and I saw it. As a matter of fact, when it happened, the first thing I did was I called Randy on the phone. I was like, what in the actual fuck did we just watch?
Exactly.
Because during the show, Hulk Hogan comes out with Jimmy Hart waving the American flag, and he's out there promoting real American beer. As soon as you see Hogan walk out, what happens? The whole place boos his ass. Like
they were worse than when he turned heel in 97 or 96. When he turned heel and became part of the NWO. It was worse than that. I mean, we're not talking about throwing shit in the ring or nothing like that, but this crowd
People were chanting like "fuck you, Hogan."
Oh,
right?
that's exactly they were. They
Yeah.
were. And I was like, what in the heck? Because I mean, honestly, now think about it, because it wasn't well,
And
it
it
was a
wasn't
while
planned
back.
that way, right? It wasn't
No.
like no.
Yeah, and it was a while back. Now that I think about it, we were at WrestleMania, what, 40 this year? Is that what it was? Or 42? 40, I think is what it was. But either
Yeah.
way, we're in WrestleMania 18 was when The Rock and him faced off, when he was still NWO that had come over to WWE from WCW after the purchase, right? And the crowd turned on The Rock because that crowd still recognized Hogan as one of the greats of all time. They had to change that match in midstream. The two guys had to work that and change it around where Hogan started becoming the babyface. They had to go on the fly. That's a perfect example of two wrestlers knowing how to work the crowd.
Right.
So Ottawa says something interesting. Hey, get it? Nice.
Yeah.
WWE overplayed the Hogan card. People are tired of the same bullshit. And
Yeah.
Hulk's comments and actions over the past 5 to 10 years have haunted him.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And that's why, that's what I want to discuss, because here you have someone who I admired growing up, who I looked up to. Oh, hey. Wait, is that Brandy
Holy
or
crap.
Krista?
That's Krista.
That's
Oh.
Krista.
Hi, Krista.
Oh, yeah, Brandy actually says Brandy. Hey, Krista.
Yep.
So, yeah, to watch my childhood hero, right, who I idolized as a kid, come out there and expecting to be cheered. That's what makes this all fucked up, because he comes out with all the legends. He's like, hey, everybody. He pops out to the music, not expecting that kind of reaction. And then when you hear everyone, when you hear the whole arena just booing his ass.
But right there, look at his face and look at Jimmy Hart's face. They're caught off guard.
They're caught off guard. They're like, what the hell's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole time Hogan's like, buy my beer, brother, right? And then he tries to rip the shirt, and it's like a Netflix logo. He couldn't even rip the shirt. It was fucking sad.
Because he's in such bad shape. He's in such bad shape now. I mean, look at him. He was in those cut off sleeves, and his triceps were flabby. He looked like if he flapped real good, he's gonna take off. He just literally, it's not to say it mean, but the years of all the working out and not being able to work out like he used to. I think he just had a hip replacement, if I'm not mistaken. He can't do anything. Yeah. So he's what, 70 almost now? Man. Late 60s at a minimum.
I want to see how old he is now. I'm curious.
Because I think
he's almost 70, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, he's not much younger than Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's over 70.
Right.
So, but I understand why they didn't, because some people actually mentioned, hey, maybe they should have carted him out as NWO Hogan, instead of the Real American. Well, you're trying to sell
he's
Real
exactly
American.
70 years old, actually.
Okay, there you go. So
1953, August 11th.
So he is
71.
Yeah, I bet to say he's 71.
Yeah.
But
damn.
So I mean, he's, for lack of a better term, he's rode hard and put up wet, is what we used to say. He's literally he's literally he's at 70. Him and Flair both. I mean, you look at both of them; they're shells of what they once were, but they're 70. That's why they gave their heart and soul to make people happy.
Yeah, I didn't know Krista was a wrestling fan. She says, I have to say, I've been to many wrestling matches over the years. My dad dragged me as a kid. They don't make wrestling like they used to.
She didn't say she was a fan. She said she got dragged.
Oh, she got dragged.
Yeah. So
she got suplexed into the wrestling.
Yes. But
it was sad to watch.
She lives right down the road from Randy Orton too. So,
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. She said she did. I don't know.
I think she actually knows him, if I'm not mistaken. Something.
Oh, does she know him?
Or knows of him.
Do you think, Krista, could you introduce me to
Randy? Ran into him a couple of times. Why do you want to meet him?
What? I love me some Randy Orton.
I can tell you right now. I did courtesy patrol out in El Paso, because we used to put the Army guys, we used to put somebody out to bring in kids coming into the AIT bunch that's there, right? Yeah. So we had a presence at the airport to help direct soldiers as they came in. And when they come through El Paso, I mean, I met Eddie Guerrero, I met Kurt Angle. I mean, I'd already met Ric Flair in Nashville once, and I met, of course, I ran into him. Him and Sting were having dinner together. I'm like, y'all probably shouldn't do this out in the open, but okay, cool. But it was like I never pushed anything on him, but I saw Stone Cold at a payphone. A little kid goes up to get his autograph, and he chews the kid out for messing with him while he's on the payphone. And I'm just like, you're ass. I don't want to deal with you. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Hogan. Well, I didn't see Hogan, but the only one that stayed in character because he took it seriously between the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Yeah. They took their character seriously, which I understood. I wasn't going to go bug them or nothing like that. But the other guys, the minute they saw us sitting there waiting for other people, they come up and introduce, hey, how you doing, type thing and stuff. The Miz is one of the funniest guys in the world. We did the tribute to the troops down at Fort Hood, and he was walking along. One of my guys didn't know who he was. He was world champ at the time, but he wasn't a wrestling fan. And he had that "I'm awesome, you're not" shirt that he used to have. Hey, I like that shirt. Who are you? Miz is like, really? And I'm laughing my butt off it, but it was funny as hell. I'm sorry. It's just absolutely hilarious when you actually meet these guys and they show their actual personality.
So I'm just reading some of these comments here.
Yeah.
Chris was like, I remember watching Ric Flair in person. I also remember watching Andre the Giant. Damn, I'm old.
Yes.
Ain't we all?
Yeah, I bet to say I think I'm older than her, so don't say that.
Hey, I remember meeting Andre the Giant. I mean,
before he couldn't move anymore.
yeah. I saw him at the old Texas Stadium, and when he come out on the tunnels where the players come out from, he came out like this and stood up.
I would have loved to meet him just to say I met him, but
Well, I say I met him. I mean, I was in a crowd of freaking little kids. I managed to shake his hand.
There you go. So, that's cool. And today they don't really do it a whole lot. So
Chris says, I think wrestling now is more fake than Zach Baggins faking evidence.
Don't say that. That's he who must not be named.
Well, that's one of the things that Randy and I talked about in the previous episodes. The one thing that the paranormal and pro wrestling have in common, they both have kayfabe.
Sure do.
They sure do. Anyway, so back to the original topic of Hogan getting fucking just embarrassed in front of the world like that.
Yeah.
My question to you guys is, what do you think? Okay, there's been a bunch of different theories or ideas as to why Hogan was booed as bad as he was. The first theory or reason that was presented, which I think is the weakest, was this. Hogan's support for Trump. And
that hurt him in LA anyway.
Well, that's the thing, right? That this Raw event was in LA.
Yeah. Well, and Mark Henry, I saw what Mark Henry had to say about the whole thing. Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't get a chance to read it.
Not that part, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Henry said that what he thinks, it didn't really shock him because, when was it? A couple of years back, several years ago, when that stuff broke about Hogan using a racial slur, and he took a lot of heat for that.
Yep.
And he came out and really made a kind of a half-hearted apology about it, but he never, and the way Mark was talking about, he never really tried to fix that going forward. He just kind of went, yeah, well, I'm sorry, too bad, type thing, and just left it at that. There was a lot of people that kind of turned on him for that. And then the whole Trump thing, being in LA,
not a good idea.
Yeah.
Mark was like, well, what do you expect? You got to read the room, guys.
Yeah.
But and plus, you coming out and you're supposed to be making a special appearance, and this is a bit. And what do? You come out advertising your beer.
Well, That was planned actually, because they're
Well, I
actually in a
know, I
contract.
know.
They're in a contract with WWE now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they could have. I think that was the wrong approach.
Well, now
You
there
know?
was one talk about they were talking about bringing him maybe out in like we talked about before. I don't know what we talked about before the show, but as NWO Hogan, you know, the
Right.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Hollywood Hogan, yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about that, and they were like, "Well, wait a second, we're trying to sell a real American beer. We're not trying to sell NWO beer." So
Well,
yeah,
see, what I think they could have done a better job with is if they had gotten like Hogan and Stone Cold to do a tag exhibition match, or like they did with the Legends when they came in and Von Erich was up there, you know, Kevin was up there, and they beat up this one bad guy and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have done that, and
That's
then you know, when Stone Cold catches his beers and everything, made it Hogan beer.
And then
yeah,
all of a
the
sudden
problem
it's the
is
unveiling.
Hogan
Yeah.
couldn't even get couldn't even get to the daggum ring though. Now that's the main problem with it. He couldn't even get to the ring now. He literally,
But he wouldn't have to. They could have done it on the ramp. You know, they could have done it on the stage. But
you just talk about Stone Cold coming out and say, "Hey, yeah, let's have a toast and toss the beer," and they, you know, drink his, right?
You know, you have Hogan punch the bad guy, you know, and Stone Cold stunner him, and then they, you know, they throw the beers at him, and they go, and it's
they could
Hogan's
have done
beer.
something like that. They could have done something like that and made it better than what it was. But
I think they would have got a better pop, you know, with Stone Cold there.
Right.
You know,
yeah, because unfortunately, even doing the simple promos, he can't even do promos anymore, right? Honestly,
went from vitamins to beer.
Well, simply, you got to think about it. All the little kids who idolized him are now grown up, and they're like crappy middle-aged men now.
Well, and all of his vitamins were actually steroids. So that thing going.
Take your vitamins, say your prayers. Yeah, take your steroids.
Shoot your steroids. Yeah.
Shoot that juice. But so I mean, I heard someone make a point where they said, you know, the funny thing is, if Hogan, instead of showing up to the WWE Raw event in LA, instead of doing that, if he had showed up to a UFC event instead, they would have cheered him.
Oh yeah, no doubt, because that's Joe Rogan's bunch there.
That's Joe Rogan. There's more Trump supporters there.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, like I said, read the room. You know?
Exactly. Right. Somebody in WWE's hierarchy, the planners, and I don't necessarily blame Triple H or anything like that on this. Somebody should have realized, hey, if we're going to have him come out, he doesn't need to talk a whole lot. They already knew this could happen, and it likely would happen. That's where I get mad about it, because you just took a quote, and I'll tell you straight out, he is a legend, whether you like him or not.
Yeah, I mean, like him or hate him,
he is a legend, and you don't treat a legend like that. They set him up for failure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was my whole point. If you'd have set him up with Stone Cold, even in Los Angeles, I think you'd have got a better pop.
Probably, yeah. Probably. Because it would have been more kayfabe that way, you know, versus, you know, hey, I'm hawking my beer, and I can't rip my shirt anymore because I can't feel anything. So, but
so let me ask you this, guys, this question. You know, you guys all know about the scandal when it came out that he used a racial slur, right?
Yep.
Right.
In your opinion, do you think Hulk Hogan is actually racist?
You know, I think everybody's said stuff they regret.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know the man, so I can't comment on him being a racist or not. I really can't. I don't remember, and I may be wrong, I don't remember hearing any flack from the locker room about that kind of stuff. And the way stuff is coming out nowadays, you'd have thought you'd have heard something.
Right.
Well, yeah, there was flack. I mean, Mark Henry had said something about it until he came and talked to him personally. Remember what Henry had said one time? He was talking about it, and Titus O'Neil. He wouldn't share a locker room with him.
Wait, was this before or after the scandal, though?
This is during the scandal. This is during once the scandal broke and they knew what.
No, I'm not talking about. Well, that's the scandal. I'm talking about like how he's treated throughout the course of
talk
his career.
how he treated people in the locker room before that came out.
Yeah.
But that's what I was talking about. Mark had said, and he's right, that he didn't do anything to try to fix this. He didn't, he just came on, made a half-ass apology, and then didn't go that extra step to reach out to the guys.
Right.
You know, and that's why Titus and Mark had a problem with it.
Well, yeah.
You know?
And like we had talked, Titus is just a straight up good guy. He's one of the ones that are the good guys in wrestling. He's done so much, on the side, but it's just the reason I have a little bit of a problem. Like I said, I think they set him up for failure. But as far as that scandal and beforehand, if you think that everything I hear about the locker room, he really didn't associate a whole lot with the entire locker room. He just dealt with who he had to deal with at the time.
Right.
That's just what I hear. Now, I've heard other ones say that he's as nice as he could be to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I've heard he's a conniving, backstabbing some bitch, type thing.
He's a politician backstage, right? But but like if you look at all the different shoot interviews with all the different African American wrestlers, none of them have ever said like, yeah, that guy was like blatantly racist to us.
No, I never heard anything like that. Yeah,
now, but that's what I'm talking about. You never heard any of that kind of flack before he, that was released. So, is he a racist? Hell, I don't know. It doesn't appear that way. Should he handled it differently? Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
right.
100%.
Absolutely. So what do you expect?
No.
Hey guys, I got a jet, so sorry.
He's leaving us, guys.
Tell Brent I got something for him later.
I'll do that. We'll see y'all later, man.
All right. B40 says there are no more casual fans at these shows. It's pathetic. Beta males in their 30s wearing replica belts to shows. Hogan's still an icon to Gen X and general public. Okay, so that's the thing I really question is Hulk Hogan actually racist? Okay, because yes, he did get caught using a racial slur, but what were the circumstances of that? Randy?
Yeah,
remember what was the circumstances of them capturing
talking
that
about
audio?
If I'm not mistaken, he was talking about his daughter and her boyfriend.
Right, because apparently his daughter was like dating all these like rapper dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Hogan was.
We don't want to talk
reacting.
about Brooke, we really don't want to talk about it. I don't want to give that girl shine. That's like talking about the Real Housewives. Okay, so we don't really want to deal with her a whole lot.
Yeah, but he was responding to that, right?
Yeah,
and as a father who that got under his skin, he was reacting in a way he most likely shouldn't have. But here's the thing, that was in private.
Yeah,
nobody talks about the fact that like his privacy was invaded.
Yeah, it kind of was. But you got to remember, as a celebrity, if you're talking to anybody, you need to assume you're being recorded. But
shouldn't you be allowed to say racial slurs in your private moments if you're by yourself?
If you're by yourself, but if you're not being, like I said, I mean, how
I'm not saying it's okay,
by yourself?
But you shouldn't be held accountable for like a private conversation you have in your own home.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, that should not have ever gone out to anybody else.
Yeah.
But once again, as a celebrity, hell, there's all sorts of paparazzi. There's all sorts of people trying to get whatever dirt they can get. What are you giggling at? You're giggling at something. I don't know what it is.
No, I was just looking at some of these comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but come on. He's 70 years old. Okay, let's think about it this way. He's 70 years old. Born in 53, you said?
Right, 53.
So if he's born in 53, he grew up saying the word in the first place.
Right. And his privacy straight up got invaded.
Yeah. So he grew up saying that word anyway. If he hadn't trained himself to get it out of his mouth before that happened at that time, then that's on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind he grew up saying that word. So
I mean, it's not cool. I mean, it is very disappointing that an American icon that you look up to as a hero, you find out would be the kind of guy that would say those racial slurs. But at the same time, you're like, well, they did just straight up invade his privacy like that. He was in the privacy of his own home.
Yep.
Someone shouldn't have to do like, see, I think the reason why I think the reason why he refused the whole Mark Henry apology tour thing was because he didn't want to. He didn't. Maybe he felt like it was unfair that he had to go through all that over something he said in private in his own home.
Yeah. And how many years prior to at that point too? Honestly,
Right.
think about how many years it was from the time it was actually caught until the time it came out.
Yeah.
And it's like Kevin Hart having to apologize for his jokes from 10 years ago.
Right.
And it cost him hosting the daggum Oscars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane.
That's
if you
not
can't
fair.
take a joke, you don't need to be out there.
Yeah. And again, he was reacting rather emotionally to his daughter's dating habits or whoever she was dating. He was talking to someone in private and in confidence. I forgot he was talking. Who was he talking to when it was all recorded?
Was it
Bubba
the
the
Love
Love Sponge's
Sponge?
wife?
I think it was no,
Yeah.
I think it was Bubba. Well, they were recording everything because I think it was in context of the sex tape, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use racial slurs. Well, the only time I ever use racial slurs is when I'm watching interracial porn. But that's it, Randy.
Well, I mean,
but that's only to get in the mood. That's it's part of when in Rome.
I can't help you on that one because me being the fine, upstanding Christian Baptist guy that I am, I don't watch porn, so I wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever seen it.
You're a man of valor and virtue.
Yes, I'm glad you recognize that.
Yeah, but only when I'm watching interracial porn, guys. When I'm watching regular porn, no racial slurs because that would just be wrong. That would be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah.
By the way,
either way,
porn is so racist. You ever notice that?
Yes,
sometimes
very
I go
much
to Pornhub. I'm like, wow, you're just breaking everyone down by race.
Hey,
so
at least you can get to it. They can't get to it in Texas no more. You got to sign up and get your age on their records before you can view them anymore. Yeah. The state of Texas has a law against it now.
Yeah. So yeah,
ooh, I like that red alien abduction porn. I take that back. There is something. It's called horror porn, and it's got that in it. So,
also we do know very famously that Hogan did have black friends, like for real friends.
I don't think he was really racist. I really don't.
I really don't think he was actually racist, like. Because if he was actually that racist, other like black wrestlers would have come out and said, this guy was a dick to me my entire career because he hated black people.
Well, now you got to think about it. Think about wrestling over the years. How many black wrestlers before the 1980s can you think of? Ernie Ladd. That's it. That's about one of the few.
Well, there were some. Yeah.
Yeah, JYD, Ernie Ladd, Thunderbolt Patterson. Those are your big three.
Junkyard Dog.
But that was 80s. I'm talking about prior to the 80s.
See, Hogan has black friends.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
look at that.
I don't think he look how little he makes Tyson look though.
Oh yeah, look how true. But they look how
unless they're
tender
sitting,
they are.
Yeah, well, I still think Tyson threw that fight. He just showed up for the payday and that was it. I don't like either of the damn Paul brothers, so.
Puck was like, I might log off and try to take a walk in the sun. Yeah, get you some sunlight. It's good for you.
Get some vitamin D.
Back. Hulkamania and NW for life. For life. I'm getting all these new people in here.
Yeah. Well, I did kind of share it out on Facebook and stuff too, so maybe it's getting around.
Okay, so here's the other reason why people might shit on Hogan. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. Him being overrated. Meaning like, okay, now this is a criticism that a lot more, I guess, hardcore wrestling fans may have about Hogan. They'll say like, oh, if you look at all of his matches, he actually sucks. He's only got like 3 moves. And I'm like,
that's post Hulkamania, or that's Hulkamania and after. I'm telling you guys, look at his stuff. God almighty. Look at his stuff from Japan and early on when he was Terry the Hulk Boulder, when he had Classy Freddie Blassie as his manager. The dude could go. He really could. I mean, he had many matches with Andre when Andre was in his prime.
B40 says he was mad that he spent tons of money on Brooke's career and her new boyfriend came in and took over her career. If the guy was Italian, Hulk probably would have said something about him being Italian. True that.
Yeah, he might
Yeah.
have. He very well might
Yeah.
have. I mean, that's just. I didn't even think about any of that crap at that time when it was coming on because I just didn't give a crap about what Hogan did at the time when it all came out. Because I mean, at that time when it was coming out, he was an afterthought. I was thinking about these new guys that were coming in. You know, at that time you talk about Austin had already been here and gone for the most part.
Yeah.
And you know, The Rock's still hanging around. I'm looking at these new guys that are coming in when John Cena is first getting in, you know. I'm like, at one point I liked Cena. I really didn't like Cena for the majority of his career, though. And now I like Cena better than I did before. Because now he can poke fun at himself and have fun with it. That being said, if they give him a 17th world title just so he can break Ric Flair's record, they can kiss my ass.
Simply asks, who was the manager back in the late 70s who was blonde and walked with a cane?
Classy Freddie Blassie.
Freddie Blassie. And Randy, what are your thoughts on Alex Jones? Are you an Alex Jones fan?
I don't even give that guy the time of day. I don't waste even a thought on him.
Isn't he a fellow Texan?
I don't care what he is.
He's a kinsman.
I don't care what he is because that dude. I take that back. I've heard excerpts of some of his rants, and the minute I hear him starting to talk, I turn it off. Because I know what's going to come out of his mouth 99.9% of the time is a bunch of bullshit.
About the reptilians? That ain't bullshit. There's
Once
actual
again,
reptilians.
99.9% of the time, well, the shit that's going to come out of his mouth is bullshit. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to be bullshit.
Gay frogs?
Gay frogs, yeah.
Helen Back says, actually, a lot of what Alex Jones said came true. All the censorship and liberalism. Those damn snowflakes keep holding him down, Randy.
Yeah, well,
damn snowflakes.
I ain't a snowflake in the least, but I still don't like the son of a bitch.
Okay,
but then again, you know, I wasn't the biggest. What's his name? Rush Limbaugh fan either.
Oh, Jason
quite frankly,
loves him some Rush Limbaugh.
Well, yeah, I know he loves him from Rush Limbaugh, but you know, but the thing was, though, here's the difference between Rush Limbaugh and Alex Jones. Alex Jones screams and hollers and tries to force his views out to everybody. Rush Limbaugh never screamed, he never hollered, and he made solid arguments to sit there and talk people into the way he wanted them to think. He made an effort to connect with somebody. And he could even make fun of himself. You know, he did Family Guy 3 times.
He was a radio guy through and through, you know.
Yeah. So he knew. I know I didn't agree with everything he said, but there was a lot of stuff I did agree with. But I would stop, you know, he never pushed militantism, you know what I mean? He pushed, hey, we're conservatives. That's what we are, is conservative. That's what he tried to push. So I think that Alex Jones goes a little bit too far for it. So
B40 says, nobody cared about work rate watching Hogan in the 80s. We watched for entertainment. These pathetic fans today would rather cheer skinny fat, never been to a gym, Sami Zayn. You can keep that, lol.
Hey, B40, me and you are eye to eye. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind Sami Zayn, but this is why I don't watch AEW on a regular basis at all. It's a spot fest. That's all it is. 98% of their wrestlers are all spot fest. You know, we're going to go out and see how many flips and how many kicks and how many whatever we could do. FTR is the only one that I can get along with because they are legitimate old school tag team wrestlers. You know what I mean? There's no this flipping around. There's none of this Young Bucks bullshit you see. I hate those guys. They absolutely suck at actual wrestling. Orange Cassidy, carry your ass back to the damn Walmart and start bagging, all right?
Randy's triggered. Triggered.
You ain't just kidding. I see these guys and I'm thinking, don't get me wrong. I love a real wrestler. I mean,
I like this one. Freddie Mercury looked healthier in 1991 than Adam Cole does. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, he's skinny. But you know what? Here's the thing, though. Adam Cole can go. I mean, that's the thing. He's got the pipes and the lungs to go good long matches. Roderick Strong is not known as Mr. Backbreaker for nothing. But you know what he adheres back to? The old Dean Malenko style, the man of 1,000 holds. He could mat wrestle with everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a
TC
different bunch. Yeah.
TC says the same fans that boo Hogan want Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
That's
I don't
kind
think
of
it quite goes
true.
that far.
I could kind of see it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's somebody actually brought that up a couple of weeks ago. I saw it read.
Before he says all petite wrestling.
Ooh, wait. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I see the midgets. We've got a midget wrestling federation right here in the DFW area. Literally, and I know a couple of people that were the managers of these midgets. They're funny as hell.
Now,
God, they're hilarious.
here's the thing about Hogan's work rate, though. What a lot of people don't understand is if you go watch Hogan's like matches in Japan with like Antonio
look at that.
Inoki,
I mean, him
dude,
and Antonio Inoki.
Hogan could go, man.
Yes, he could.
He was a solid wrestler. He just didn't show it in the WWF because the style of that
it wasn't needed.
It wasn't needed.
No, people they wanted to see him hulk up, shake the head, shake the ropes. Same thing they did with Ultimate Warrior, which there was another one. He just didn't even like the business. That's a whole show by itself.
Right.
But he shake the ropes, hulk up, and when he did that look and gave him the point and the wagging of the finger, the crowd ate it up.
Right.
They knew how to make the crowd happy, and that's where WWE was different than NWA and all the territories at the time. Because with the NWA, you had a heel champion, and all the baby faces chased the heel champion because that's what kept putting butts in seats. Not up in WWF and WWE have never been that way. It's always been Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold. Then you get they went old school when they had Roman Reigns these last pretty much 4 years. You don't just, that's the thing that made the world title in the old days great, because it just didn't go to everybody on a whim. You know what I mean?
Red Edge Savage says Psychosis was fun to watch, jumping all over the place doing crazy. I love me some Psychosis.
Oh yeah, luchadors. But here's the thing: luchadors aren't just all spot fests, though. They tell a story in the ring too.
Yeah.
Where these others, they don't. They just throw people around and no sell everything.
Sinfully says, my son-in-law and oldest daughter used to wrestle locally for charity. Son-in-law was a heel. Nice.
Was he a heel against his daughter or your daughter?
Oh, that'd be messed up.
That's messed up there, isn't it?
TC, AEW is not learning that you can have the greatest wrestling, but if I don't care about the guys in the ring, it don't matter.
Exactly. They're
true.
not telling a story. They're not. Eric Bischoff says it the best when he does his little podcast thing, or the 83 weeks thing, because I listen to the excerpts every so often. And he doesn't trash AEW. He trashes Tony Khan and tells him, hey, y'all need to book this better to make me really care about it. That's what he's telling them. Just book it better. And now I guess Dave Meltzer is on their payroll, so you can't believe a thing he writes in the first place now. So
now, where was I going to go?
Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some legitimate reasons why people hate Hogan, right?
Yeah.
Other than the racism stuff.
Yeah.
He's got some weird sexual stuff, like just you know.
The sex tape, but that didn't cause him as much problems as you think it would.
No, it didn't cause him too many problems. But I think what really get the source of a lot of the resentment is the way he was very selfish, and he was a constant liar.
Well,
he was a bullshit artist.
Well, that's it. It's wrestling. You do what you have to do to keep your spot. Look, case in point, Ole Anderson. Everybody hated Ole Anderson by the time his time was done.
Right. He was of that old school mentality.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, you got to sell yourself. I fully understand what he was doing. Right. It didn't make him any friends, that's for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. The way I understand it, him and Flair are now friends pretty good. He's not going to ever be friends with the Undertaker. The Undertaker don't want to have.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's the story that made me turn on Hogan. Was this incident? Yeah. So, Randy, why don't you explain for the people listening at home who may not be familiar with what happened between the Undertaker and Hogan, the story? Just do a quick recap of that.
So this was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Survivor Series in 1990 or 80, 89, 90. I can't remember which year it was, but it was late 80s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair had just come to the WWF at that time. It was unheard of to ever think that a sitting champion would ever come, to the WWF, especially from WCW at that time. But he shows up, and they started trying to figure out how to program this Hogan Flair thing, which it never worked out, never was done right for whatever reason. But that right there, Undertaker had already debuted at Survivor Series or whatever, and the year before, and he was pretty much taking the world by storm. Bad guy the whole way around. First was brought out by Bubba's Love Sponge. God, was it Love? Brother Love. That's what Bruce Prichard's character at the time, Brother Love. Yeah, and it was 91. I think it was. No, because 91 was he would have been going against Sergeant Slaughter, because 91 was when Desert Shield, Desert Storm was taken off. So, but he tombstones, like you said right there, he tombstones him. Ric Flair was the one that put the chair in the ring.
Right.
Hogan said for how many years, he may even still say it to this day, that Undertaker dropped him on his head and causes neck issues or some crap like that. It caused an injury. And as you can see, looking right there,
he
didn't
doesn't
even come close.
Doesn't even make contact. Yeah.
And Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, he does his little thing. He's like, I look back at it, I was like, because he felt bad. He thought he'd actually done it.
Well, what happened was Hogan started complaining to the officials after the match that the Undertaker had literally dropped him on his head.
Yeah.
Putting him at severe physical risk because, neck and head injuries.
Yeah, definitely.
Undertaker was legitimately scared because he thought his spot was going to be taken away and his career put in jeopardy because he didn't want to be. He was a new, young, fresh guy, and he didn't want to have that baggage of being the guy who hurts people, especially someone like Hogan. So then when he went back and saw the image and realized that Hogan was lying his ass off about it, and he saw that Hogan was just maliciously trying to derail this guy's career, even though Undertaker didn't really do anything to him. And actually, from that point on, Undertaker was just like, fuck this guy.
I think TC might be right. It must have been 91 because it's had to happen after the Sergeant Slaughter stuff. It had to happen after the Sergeant Slaughter stuff. So, yeah, because
this kind of shit to me is grimy, especially to do that to a guy like Undertaker.
Yeah, who is number one trying to come up. You're not taking care of the ones that are coming up taking your place, because he's going to do it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And guess what? You piss one off, and he does become good and big and all that stuff. Now what are you going to do? You got nowhere to go but to him, and he's going to remember what you did.
Right.
I mean, you can't find anybody more respected in the locker room than the Undertaker. So
yeah, how our heroes have fallen, right, Randy?
Well, yeah.
He went from,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was echoing what you were saying. Yeah, because we all loved him in the 80s. I don't care what you say. You wanted to see. I remember watching Saturday. I believe it was Wrestling Superstars.
Yeah.
You remember when Orndorff turned on him in 84 or 85? I guess it was. It might have been 86. Orndorff became a good guy after the first WrestleMania. Okay, but he started getting jealous of Hogan's reactions and so forth, so on. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, I said, he's getting pissy. He's really getting pissy with Hogan. What the heck? And then when the turn happened on a Saturday afternoon show.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, you got somebody there. That leaves me to play. What y'all want to hear about? Yeah, actually, TC Undertaker wasn't a rookie. He had already had several years' experience in Memphis and WCW before that. Is Mean Mark Callis, and is what was the first one in Memphis? Jerry Jarrett put him in. Him and Kama / Godfather / whoever, they wrestled together as a tag team in Memphis long before he ever got to the WWE. So he had several years in it, but he hadn't dealt with Hogan before that. So
who's the guy that has the brother? He's talking about the Steiners.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's talking about Rick
Dogface Gremlin is Rick Steiner,
Steiner. Yeah,
which
yeah,
his name is actually Rob Rex Steiner.
yeah.
I don't know how they. I remember the reason he wrestled as Rob Rex Steiner early on, and Kevin Sullivan changed his name to Rick Steiner. So
Them over here. Did managers actually manage? No, they were more the
No.
mouthpieces. They would
Yeah.
stick them with wrestlers who were like not good on the mic.
yes.
Oh, did you ever hear about the bullshit ass story that Hogan told about Bruiser Brody?
But yes, Red Edge.
So,
Yeah, Brody was killed in
Hogan
Puerto
tells a
Rico.
story where you know how Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
Hogan has a story where 4 months prior to the murder, he goes to like a hotel, like his hotel, right,
Mhm.
in Puerto Rico, and that same guy who murdered Bruiser Brody was there, like pointing a gun at him, telling him that if he ever came back, he would, be unalived. And I'm
Wow.
like, but it was complete
I can
bullshit.
tell you one thing. I tell you one thing he did get though. In 1984, he was with Vince, and they just got the title on him, and they were doing St. Louis. And guess who was the man in St. Louis?
Cool.
Harley Race.
Oh.
They go in to run a venue that has always been run by Race and his guys there. Race brought a pistol to the actual arena, and people said he was intent. He was going to shoot Hogan right then and there.
Why? Why was he so pissed at him?
Because they were taking money out of them. They were wiping out the territories, and Race's territory in school were getting wiped out.
Oh, okay. This is when Vince was
it-
muscling them all out. Okay.
Exactly. The 84 time frame.
I see.
And I'm telling you what, that's one man you don't want to mess with.
Yeah,
you didn't want to really
make
mess
that guy mad.
And Luthez called him cartoony. So that doesn't tell you how wrestling has evolved.
Hey, Randy, I'm noticing a lot of these people in the chat are here from like paranormal cryptid scene.
Yeah.
Should we try to find a way to tie Hogan into like paranormal cryptid stuff? I don't know if there's a way to do that. Is there a way to do that?
Well, yeah. I mean, we could talk about the ghosts of all the careers he's buried.
Huh. Well, yeah. Did he really though bury so many careers?
Not really. I mean,
not really. I mean, he would definitely put a ceiling on people, but these people weren't like buried.
I mean, he honestly, to give him credit, honestly, let's think about, what was it? 90, it'd been 88 or 89, WrestleMania 6, when he lost to Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, a lot of that. Hey, that's where he got it from.
Says, I'd be afraid of Harley without a gun.
Yeah,
he's dead, and I'm still afraid of Harley.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Harley was not the one to mess with. He was a great guy if you were on his good side. But no, I don't want him mad at me at all. Even out of the grave, I don't want him mad at me. But now I lost the train of thought. I got on Harley there. But what was I talking about? I got started talking about.
We're trying to link it with like
paranormal. And he tried to do the right thing by giving the Ultimate Warrior the rub, by letting him, take the titles and stuff like that. He did the right thing, tried to pass it on, but he just, unfortunately, they picked the wrong person to pass it on to. And it slowly figured out real quick that was not going to work out. So,
well, his Warrior was the most marketable. He was the most popular.
Yeah. And if you look at the behind the scenes stuff, I cannot understand how Vince ever put up with his bullshit. Honestly.
Because I mean, he literally worked, man. He fucking sold tickets, man. He moved merch.
Yeah, because
he made money. At the end of the day, it's about how much money he made.
And that's exactly what it was, because there was hardly anybody that wanted to even deal with him. Right. Luckily, Rick Rude was there, because Rick Rude knew how to make him look good, even though he's very limited. He made him look good.
And Randy Savage.
And Randy Savage, too.
Randy Savage, yeah.
But those are two real workers that knew how to make somebody look great.
Oh, hey, it's Corey. What's up?
Hey, Corey.
After hearing everyone talk about Ming, I'm sold. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're going to do a separate
that's the whole show about him.
Yeah, that's the whole show.
In fact, his son, he's two sons, actually, in WWE right now, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, which they're adopted sons, the way I understand it. They're not really,
Mm. Yeah, Davey Boys, you're not wrong there. When Hogan did his new girlfriend,
Yeah.
you see a picture of his new girlfriend and his daughter together, and you're just like,
Mm-mm.
damn, she's like younger than his daughter.
I'm about to say, isn't he married to the girl now? To
Yeah.
the one that was kind of like
No, they divorced. They divorced.
The second one?
Yeah, they divorced.
I'm not talking about the one that ended up cheating on him with the pool boy or whatever it was.
No, not Linda.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know they had divorced. I thought that he was during the last freaking documentary I saw on Hogan.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago it was now, but he was still quote unquote married to her. So
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess paranormal wise, I don't know. Do you
with
think
Hogan,
Hulk Hogan can beat up Bigfoot, Randy?
no.
No.
Well, wait, in their prime,
No.
no.
Do you think you
Even
could
in
take
their
on
prime,
Dogman?
no. Yeah, consider Dogman's a figment of everybody's imagination anyway. So.
How dare you, Randy? Oh,
I
he said it,
Oh,
guys,
God, I
not
said it.
me. He said it. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's gimmick was retarded lumberjack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another one. People don't remember when he was a heel in Houston. So,
Yep. All right. Well, I think we will cut this one short tonight, guys.
yeah, because I can't
Tune
figure out a way to
in.
do it.
Hop on over to Brent's show.
Yeah.
Next week I'm going to do some Bible stuff. Oh shit, I'm going to talk some Bible shit. Damn, Randy.
Well, make sure you throw Dogman in there.
And then the week after that, it's going to be my 100th episode extravaganza.
I'm doing my
Liberals
50th.
hate Hogan. Yeah, those damn snowflakes, man. Fucking snowflakes. Oh, I appreciate that, Helen Back. Your name is very satanic, but I like you anyway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, stop worshiping evil.
That's a callback to
That's
Audie
not
Murphy is
good.
what that is.
Yeah. Walk towards the light.
Go to the light.
Yeah.
Go to the light. Remember that Family Guy episode when they bug bomb the house and you got Chris and Meg you got Alan Thicke there and you got Prince in the light. Come on, Prince, come to the light. It's
Davey
so
Boy's
purple.
Davey Boy's like, I loved wrestling till I saw Hacksaw, and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, he was not good at that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't say selling, but yeah, his punches didn't even come close to landing. That spear that he used to use was crap. It was more like when he got into the WWE and he used the clothesline instead of the spear, it was much better. So
He was good at acting retarded, though.
yeah.
Yeah, he had that all cross-eyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna peace out. We're gonna keep this one a little short, but tune in next week. It's gonna be a chunkier one, I would say, Randy.
Hey, you making fun of my weight? What the hell?
No, I was just talking about that.
Did you just call me fat?
No. Oh yeah. By the way, tune in Wednesday for me and Randy and Brandy.
Yep.
And then we will be talking paranormal discussion topics. And before we go, Randy, did you have any final words or thoughts you'd like to share with the audience before our departure?
All I can say is if you're hating on Hogan just for these last 5 or 10 years, I can understand that. You can't hate on his wrestling career. You can't take that away. It'd be like looking at Ric Flair, who got drunk in hotels for the last 3 years and saying, "Oh, you're 40 years in the business ain't worth a shit because you look like an idiot drunk."
Yes.
So, but that's it.
And
yeah.
my final message is, guys, it's not okay to use racial slurs. That's not cool.
No.
Okay. Not appropriate. Never okay. Unless you're watching interracial porn and your dick is literally in your hand. If it's not in your hand, it's still not cool. You still don't get a pass.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. Hang on.
Oh, he's looking.
I was looking.
He hasn't seen it in years. All right.
It's just been a couple of days.
All right. Peace out, folks. Bye.
Bye.